Hi everyone, welcome back. Continuing the no-dig theme today, and we're going to make a start making up the beds on the no-dig plot. 2 will be layered up in the lasagna method, and 2 will just have a couple of inch covering of manure and compost in very much the same way that Charles Dowding does it. Okay, so we'll get on with that now. Hi, welcome back. Early finish today, so I thought I'd take that last hour before tea and continue layering up the first of the 4 large no-dig beds on the no-dig plot. And I think you saw in the last update that we'd already got about a foot of straw stable bedding on this first bed, and to that I've added about 3 barrowfuls of brassica leaves, the lower leaves from the autumn savoy that we've got, and some of the shredded, that's the only way to describe it, shredded January King that have been hammered by cabbage whites, and a few blown greyhound as well, quite a lot because we've about 3 beds with brassicas. So as I say, about 3 barrowfuls, and you can still see the whitefly hopping about. And then I've taken 6 pots of spent compost. Some of it had potatoes in, some had tomatoes, but as I said in the last update, I've been meticulous really about removing any fallen tomatoes from the compost, so hopefully it should be pretty clean. And I would say there was about 2 mounded barrowfuls of spent compost, and that compost actually consists of well rotten manure, some of my own compost, and some John Ennis number 3 as well, and I think I put fish blood and bone in there, but that's about it. So I just stand up and you can see it's mounded quite a bit, probably about 10 inch, yeah, about 10 inch I would say, and rest assured that'll settle down, and it'll probably only be about 3 or 4 inch come next April or May. Filled the rabbit hole first and took out the last of the spring onions, which are quite nice actually. We've got some red ones and some white ones. They'll all get used in stir fries and stews, because we had our first stew of the season last night. So that's the first of the 4 raised beds, and the next opportunity I have, I'll probably do the same with the third bed there that's got the straw on. Okay, catch you later. Hi folks, well it's a case of another day, another bed. Storm Al is approaching, the first windy storm of the autumn, so apologies for the wind. You can see this is the 3rd bed. I think we had the sweet corn in here this year, and I continued stripping leaves, lower leaves from brassicas, from all the sprouts. You can see there's a few yellow leaves there, but most of them were green enough. Also thinned out the kohlrabi bed, and I've started putting spent compost on, and the compost has come from the potatoes and cucumbers. The tomato compost was a little bit dry because it had been left unwatered for the last 3 weeks or so. So I've got about 6 pots here of spent compost. That's going to be added on, and then it'll be covered up and weighted down just like the bed that I showed you. Because the storm's approaching. Well, that's another bed finished, and surprisingly the compost was quite moist from the cucumbers, and there were also a lot of worms at the bottom of the pots, which is a good thing. There weren't brandling worms either, so they should stay in the soil. And the bed again is about 10 inch higher, but it's quite springy, quite bouncy in the middle. I leant on it and it sank quite quickly, so there's plenty of air in there, plenty of brown material and green material, and some nice compost on top. So with a bit of luck, maybe a light levelling off at the start of the season next year, and that should be ready to go for the carrots next season. Just got to get it covered up now, and then I've got to carry on clearing out the fourth of my greenhouses. I've done the first three, but it's a bit of a mess, always is after the cucumbers, so I'm going to get on with that now. And it's amazing how much spent compost you generate, but it always comes in useful. Okay, catch you later. Well, I'm still in the process of cleaning the large 16 by 8 greenhouse out, and it's a mucky job when you're taking the cucumbers out, but you don't want to get rid of them, do you, until you've got every last cucumber. And lo and behold, found another 2 cucumbers, and in addition to these 2, there are 3 that are about half that size on the last remaining plants, and I hadn't spotted those either. So that takes us tally for cucumbers for this season to 127, which I don't think is bad at all, but then it has been a good season. So back into the muck now, and I'll catch you later. Well, there's no peace for the wicked, is there? And, even when it's windy. Finished tidying out the large greenhouse, and I just thought I'd come and put a mix of well-rotten manure and spent compost onto one of the 3 smaller Nordic beds. Now this bed, if you look back through the videos, was double dug originally, had lots of manure at the bottom and then the soil back on the top, so it wasn't a lasagna bed, and the other 2 smaller beds aren't either. So the soil's not as good, I would say, as the lasagna bed. The soil up in this part of the country is sometimes littered with bits of coal, because it's a former mining community, and in decades gone by people have had coal fires on their allotments, so there's quite a bit of it kicking about, and they'll have tipped their ash as well onto the beds. So it's a gradual process of removing stone, bits of coal, but as I say, each year we're adding to it. So we're adding spent compost manure, and the mix that I've got here is probably 2 parts well-rotten manure, about 8-month-old manure, so it's not that well-rotten, but it's broken down quite nicely and dark. And I've put 2 pots of spent compost from the cucumbers, and also a couple of hands of fish blood bone. So I'm going to get that spread on now. Well, it's getting wild now, and we just had a tremendous gust of wind, nearly blew me over, and it's going to get worse. So I'm going to get this finished quickly, because you'll not be able to hear a word that I'm saying either. I've put just 1 barrelful on, and this is going to take the elephant garlic. Actually, I'm going to fill 2 of these beds with elephant garlic this year, but it's going to be no more than 2 inch thick. And I've got a few spring onions at the bottom there, growing on. So, as I say, I really better get on. Hi everyone. Well, I've just sought sanctuary in one of the greenhouses. It just became too uncomfortable outside. Started to blow rain. It was driving at one point, not very heavy, but really unpleasant. So I thought I'd have a nice cup of tea and give some thought to the next task that's in front of me, and this is something that a lot of people are thinking about now. This is the elephant garlic, and this is my 4th year of growing it, but the 3rd year of growing it on a larger scale. This represents a quarter, believe it or not, of the cloves that were produced from last year's harvest. We took them up earlier in the year, and we've been eating them now for the last month or so, and you can see that they're of varying sizes. Some are too small to use. I would say there are probably about 10 that I'll just take home and we'll eat them. But the others are split into two sizes, I would say. One which is really large, so if I show you, see that's a nice big chunky one. But then there are others that are more of a middling size. And what I thought I might do for this coming season is split those two categories and have the large cloves in one bed and the bulbs that are probably only about half to 2/3 of that size, put those in another bed, just to see whether or not that really makes a difference to, you know, the quality and size of the garlic that's produced. Now you would think that the bigger ones would have a bigger food store, a bigger food reserve, and that maybe they would fire off more quickly, but I really don't know because I've not compared. Last year's garlic were arguably a little bit smaller than the year before, and I didn't use the largest of the cloves. I actually ate the best ones. So this year we'll be able to see whether it makes a difference. I'm probably not going to get these in today, but if we just take another look at these, you'll have seen Monty Don recently on Gardener's World and other people, I dare say, on YouTube planting their elephant garlic. And you've got the basil plate at the bottom where the roots come out, and the pointy top where the stem or the plant itself grows up out of. Now when I first got these, I bought them mail order from the Isle of Wight. I wasn't certain how far to go in peeling the outer skins off, and in the first year I actually stripped the entire garlic so that it resembled the garlic just before you chop it up at home. And then I went into a little bit of a panic and thought, oh dear, I've probably made a right mess here. But it made absolutely no difference. So if in the course of taking the light white cream thin skin off of the outside, if you happen to strip it down to the bare clove underneath, I wouldn't worry about it because it seems to make absolutely no difference. What I would probably recommend you do though is probably just break open this bit at the top because it's really, really hard. And I did watch a YouTube video, it's quite some time ago, it might be about 3 or 4 years ago, and there was I think it might have been a commercial garlic grower, and they split the top, just broke it to make it easier for the shoot to come out. So that's what I've done for the last 3 years. I can't say that it's helped, but they've certainly all fired and they've all sprouted and done quite nicely. So that's my approach. Take off the outer lighter skin, just try and break open the top to make it easier for the emerging shoot, and I'll just pop them down maybe an inch or two with a basil plate at the bottom, and that's it. So but that's for another episode. It's more important now at this point in time that I finish off my tea, and then I'm going to get off home and get changed and put my feet up. So that's it for this update. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. This episode again has been pretty much about the no-dig plots and the no-dig beds, but it's that time of the year when we're all doing these kind of things, so I thought it might be useful just to show you how I do it. Okay, so have a great weekend and I look forward to seeing you again soon. All the best.